Right, morning everyone. As always at the moment, I'm sorry I haven't been doing some videos. I know people have said where are they? So here we go. I'm going to get just a video, try and do a catch up of everything we've been up to since I last spoke to you. It has been a while, so there's been a lot of fishing. I'm just going to flirt through it. Basically, I can sum it all up now already. It's not been going very well. Worst run I can probably ever remember. So I got the dog scratching at my legs here with my shorts. And I'm full of cold as well, not to be confused with corona. I had my nan's 90th birthday last weekend. All the kids, everyone there, and all of us have come home with a cold. Really bad, not felt great at all. A couple have been tested because they're a bit concerned, but no, it's just runny nose and a cough. It's not good. So yeah, the fishing has been very, very bad. When we first got back, it just wasn't fishing right everywhere. Cold nights, freezing cold nights, hot days, worst conditions possible. Can't say I got it right all the time either. And now it has warmed up, I'm just drawing terrible. To put it into perspective, again, like I've said to you before, I'm not trying to show off. The last couple of years fishing we had, I don't know exactly how much, I would keep a rough idea, and it's been like sort of 15,000, maybe a little bit more the last couple of years. Halfway through the year, and I think I've won about 500 quid. It's not been very good, but there are little bits to learn from it. So I'm going to dive in. Like I say, I'm not going to go into too much detail because there's been loads of matches. I'll just give a quick flick through. As soon as I've done this, I'm going to start getting some like method videos done again. I'm going to do 2 as soon as I finish this. I'm not working till tonight. Again, that hasn't been helping. Work, you remember I was on their nights last time. That job still hasn't been completed. We keep getting put on it and it gets cancelled at the last minute. Just can't plan anything. I've cancelled a few fish shows and stuff. It's just a nightmare. We do start back on them next week, 2 weeks of them. Hopefully that job will finally be finished because it just keeps messing our programme up. We get sent here, there and everywhere. Like tonight I'm down in Surrey somewhere. It's not ideal. Just because we've got to find some work at the last minute. So that has been costly in one match, which again just sums up how everything's going. But right, the last time I spoke to you, we were just getting ready for fish out at Tunnel Barn. Now, they do the draws the night before, and I drew an amazing peg in all fairness. House 6, anyone that's been, it's between 2 islands, one of the best pegs on complex can be. Got really excited if I'm honest. Now I am looking back afterwards and come away from it and thought, and a few people I spoke to, it's never won a qualifier. But yeah, everyone, when I got there, the owners and everyone said, oh, we think our money's on you today. Really excited. I spoke to my good mate Matt Bingham the night before. He was one of the men to beat up there for the last few years. And he said it's just start with pellet short, he told me exactly what I was going to do anyway. Throw meat short, throw meat in the edge, and then like you've got a gap in the islands, just ping maggots there for fishing shallow. And then I did set up a rig, 16 metres. The wind wasn't very nice, with a long line to fish to the island, just with pellets and micros again, micros and expanders. I started short with micros, expanders, caught a couple, and I just got told I'd be able to fish short with meat all day, so I started throwing that. Got out fishing with maggots, no bites, just a couple of little stockies. It was terrible. The whole lake was fishing really bad. The only people that were getting any bites were along the dam sort of wall, like 12 to 18. They weren't catching a lot, but the wind was going down there and it was really windy. you can't see your float on the peg when the wind's there. I had it in Tom Scully's Winter Champs a few years ago, and it was the same then. You really don't see a float. Yeah, no, with an hour to go, I've literally had £10, just couldn't get by it. And then they dropped upon the metre one short, and I had £50 last hour. I went from having 6 little F1s, I ended with 27, and they were all big ones I caught short. Yeah, I had £65, I think, £80 on the lake. Just ran out of time, but we were never in the running. Worst lake on the day. Just about summed it up. So I was a bit frustrated with that, but another day that could have been a winning peg. Straight from there, went on to that was the Wednesday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday was the Tunnel 3-day festival on weight. House new and extension with the rotations. First day I've drawn house 22 down. There's an island. It's down the back, like 18 to 25, I think it is, or 27. No, 27. It's really narrow. It's only about 10 metres wide. 22 used to be it's a brilliant summer peg. You've got better reeds there in front of you for catching shallow, but it had been dreadful down there for weeks. Like Paul Holland had been down there and been last down there. In an open week for with £10. There was just nothing there. And on a weight festival, not what you wanted. So I've just fished meat short again, pellet short, then meat short, not caught on that. I had a couple short on meat last hour, but it wasn't good. Meat down to the next platform, caught 3 or 4 on that late on. And then you've got 2 foot by the reeds. So I've just fished 2 or 3 lines along the reeds. So Mike's and expanders caught a few, but they're little stockies, which they often are there. So I started pinging maggots because I get a few liners there into the reeds. Had a couple shallow, but again it wasn't good, and it's just been dreadful along there. And when you did get a bite, it was like a liner, and yeah, it wasn't good. There was a tiny, like the reeds all the way across the pen, there's a tiny little gap, literally like this, and I put my pole pot in there, 2 hours to go, I just won't catch anything. Moved everything out of the way with my pole cut, just bent the reeds over. Plumbed up with a mud line rig in there, put a new rig on, and you've got sort of 12 inches. Big cups and ground bait and maggots, and I couldn't believe how much better it was. Shouldn't have been, like, they shouldn't have been on it, but they were, and yeah, caught much better the last hour, much bigger fish as well. Weighed £50, won the section easy, so I can pick some money up. £20 was next along there, that's how bad it was. But £150, £160 won the match first day, so I was miles behind on weight first day. Not a good start. Typically the next day, the wind change had come in there, and that was the place to be, which again just sums up all my fishing at the moment. Second day I drew new 36, 37, again in the narrows. Meat short didn't go. Again my best line by far was big cupping, ground bait, there's a little bit of shallow water. But they were just really spooky. It never lasted, so it was never going to do any good. I fished to catch a big weight, and it was all wrong for it. The wind was down the other end, all the fish were the other end. Should have been a bit more steady, but I needed to catch up with weight. And I had £70 in the end. If I could have fished a nice steady match, I could have caught 90 maybe. But I had to go for it, get myself back in. Wasn't ideal. So it was definitely game over. And the last day, the weather changed completely. We were on extension, and it was horrible rain all day. I drew 8 on extension, 7 on extension, so it's on the end of the island in the main bowl. I just wanted to draw somewhere where I didn't have a chance and go home because the weather was so bad, in all honesty. But felt I could catch a few there, and I've just set up to fish meat short and down the edge. I just thought I've got to make it work. And to be honest, I learned a lot that day. I was second on the lake. Got beat by 9 on the pots. He beat me by £3, I think, for the lake. Had £90, he had 93 or something like that. He's just got shallow to the pots. It had won the match the day before doing the same. There were a lot of fish under there at the time. And it was, what I learned is I was being a bit too, you've got to be really patient. It's feeding next to nothing, like 3 or 4 bits of meat sitting on it. Not how I've ever done it before. Meat's normally quite a positive method and you're feeding a lot, and that was much better. So I did learn a bit, so maybe I got it wrong a little bit, but I was never going to win from them draws. The right pegs on definitely the wrong days, because if I'd had the wind hacking in my peg the second day, that would have been a good draw as well. I ended up £35 out of the top, out of the frame. So I think I maybe could have just snuck in, but you go to win. Definitely got it wrong for doing that. From there, where did I go next? I had so many matches. We've had I had the Maver at Westwood, threw rubbish on Falcon, got beat by £2 per section. In all honesty, I should have caught it off. Clearly wasn't going to win anything, and we had the festival there at the Darwin the next week, so I've just tried to learn a bit, did learn a few bits. But should have just carried on fishing over and I would have caught enough to win the section, just a few quid, but I'd have rather learnt a bit. Westwood Festival, I will go into this one a little bit more because I know, especially on the second day, the bloke next to me, so I can't remember his name, does watch the videos and he said he wanted to learn from it. Now it was Skylark was one rotation, Falcon was one rotation, and Swallow and Hawk was a rotation. It's supposed to be Swallow and Osprey, and they moved it at the last minute. Hawk's a bit of a funny, like I've never actually fished it, but I know like it's just a round circle. You go over a bridge by the car park and fish from the inside. 1 and 20 are absolute flyers, and then the pegs up the other end and the other flies, and how it had been pegged, it was nearly every peg down each side, and then they've got a bit of room up the end, so because they did each section and then a gap, so you're always going to struggle to beat them ends. And I've drawn on there, I wanted to Swallow, but I've drawn on there, I've drawn peg 18. Everyone told me it was awful. No shallow water at all. It was a really hot day, you wanted shallow water, you've got all the bottom was all over the place. It was between 4.5 and 5 foot wherever you went. Down your edges was 3 foot, and across, like the banks all fallen away, so they put black netting up, so you've just got 3 foot straight up to that 3.5 foot. Same riggers down the edge and in front of the reeds. Everyone just said fish for barbel. You're not going to catch a lot of barbel and some F1, so I just planned to fish a nice maggot match. Now I did have a right plumb around against the far back. Where the reeds finished and the black netting started, I found it was literally like this, a tiny little bit that was 20 inches deep, so I've set a mud line up for that. It's too deep as a mud line, but it was shallow water. So I'm just going to throw maggots short, down the edge, and then kinder them over, and I could fish the bottom of the far shelf again, which I was told I might catch some barbel. Matt Bingham had drawn peg 20, which is the best peg. So we always thought he'd win the section. Tom Edwards drew the peg up the other end of the room. It was going to be out of them two. For my section, either end peg of the section. And I started to cross on my deep, on this shallower water bit, Mike's and Spanners, and the first hour's been really, really good. I got told I wouldn't catch many carp there, but I've caught 20 fish the first hour, and a lot of them were carp, not big, some, a lot of them were like a pound, and then an odd 3 and 4 pounder, but good. And Matt was catching really well already. I couldn't see Tom, but I was keeping up with Matt the first hour. He's just fished shallow around the reeds. There's so many fish there. When we packed them up there, they were all there. But then it's dwindled out. The edge was rubbish, caught 3 or 4 F1s. Short was getting bites, but it was all like this. So I've really like hammered in, gone from double feeding 15, 20 maggots to like double feeding 20 a bit less often. Double feeding 50, sorry, keep them down. And mid-match it's been really good, and they've been proper carp as well. Had a good run on it, and then it's dwindled out, and it's just been no bites there, no bites gone. I've just caught an odd barbel and stuff, little barbel tapping in maggots across. Come the way in, Matt caught a load more than me, I knew that. Come the way in, Matt's had £190. The guy between us, he's had £90, but he's only caught fishing down the edge right as close towards Matt as he could go. He's had a good run of big carp there. I've had £120, and then it's been 50, 40s and 50s all the way up to Tom, who's had £170. And then it's been all the way round. Back to peg one, who's had £188. Matt's just beat him for the lake. So third in the section. I was actually fourth on the lake by some way. Got to take that as a good result, but it's on points, 3 points. You're needing some wins now. Not the ideal start, but that's how I couldn't have. You'll find in these festivals, it's not just about the pegs you draw, but it's who draws the other, like the better pegs sometimes. And I've had 2 fantastic anglers on better pegs, and you're just not going to beat it. So that was third. Second day I've drawn Skylark 36. 30's a decent area. Was it 36? Something like that. 34, sorry. Now, it was every peg. It was, again, strange sort of pegging. Each 10 peg section, or however many, I can't remember, 8 peg section or whatever, they would have a spare peg either end, like, and that was your section, like a block of your, and then it'd be every peg. 40 at the end is always going to be able to beat, always good pegs anyway. Josh Pace was the next one in off the end. He was always going to be able to beat on 39. And then I thought on the end peg was where the spinner was, which is always a good peg. Just set up to fish. It'd been really hard the day before Skylark. My peg had been last in section, but thought I'll try and get a few. Set up to fish the mud, start on the mud line. You normally have an hour catching on the mud line on there. Down the edge, throw a maggot short, but I was going to feed it really lightly. There's skimmers and a bit of everything to catch in there. Still on top 4 because it's where your deeper water is. Fed it very lightly, just like double feeding 10 maggots, just so I could drop in and catch something. Then I've set up rigs for fishing maggots and hard pellets in 2 foot, like a section back off the flat bank. Now I've started across, and I've had a carp about 4 or 5 pound first put, and then nothing has come in. I've wasted half hour doing it, just no bites, and I've never had that on there before. Normally there's so many fish and foul. Look, it's the first hour, then it goes and it wasn't. So after half hour I've come back, there was an odd one moving about, so I've just gone like 8 inches deep with a shallow rig, just slapping a little red pellet, not feeding anything, and I've caught 2 carp in sort of half hour on it. And I've seen a couple of little bubbles come up close. I've dropped in my maggots, caught a carp and a couple of big skimmers, and then no bites. They were 3 straight away and then nothing, so I've just carried on feeding it. Gone back down, caught a couple of big F1s, but I knew I needed to feed, so I was going to save straight in front of me for maggots. It was a bit shallower this boat, so I've had my rig for hard pellets, just a little light rig for fishing through the water, and I've just gone in, tapping 4 mil, fishery 4 mils, fishing a 6 mil on the hook. Started to get through, and I've had a little run, 5 or 6 carp, couple of F1s, and then it died again. Tried moving the other way, done it, not had a bite. Tried handing some maggots out, not had a bite. And then I've started to see a bit more fizzing short, so I've gone on that. And I've just caught there all day. Been loads of fish there. Again, I've had to up the feed to keep them down. Tried shallow, but you didn't get a bite, even though they were definitely there. they're just not having it at the moment, weren't at that stage. Then it's gone from being really sunny to like really, it'd been flat calm and really windy and rainy, and the last half hour it's completely died. You couldn't fish across, it was so windy. And I'd started throwing maggots down the edge because they were kind of maggots, and I shouldn't have done it. I should have just left it and gone kindering. Might have caught a couple. Coming away in, I've had £100, just about £100 exactly. A bit of a mix, carp, tench, F1s, lovely days fishing in all honesty. Which was second in section. Josh has beat me, he has a fought up there. He's gone on to be second in the festival. He's fished really well all week, drawn well, but done fished well, good mate of mine, so well done to him. He's had 115. So maybe should have made a few decisions a bit quicker, but everyone around me has caught £30, so I was really pleased. Again, I've got the most out of it, I thought. But looking back, maybe should have beat Josh just a bit, should have started feeding across a bit sooner. A few little different things, like I say, I shouldn't have started throwing maggots down the edge, I should have just stayed kindering. Going into the third day, I was now on 5 points. 5 points was last in at this stage, but much bigger weight. I was going on to Falcon. I've drawn Falcon 1, which is a lovely peg. It's completely different. It was really windy and wet all day. And I've started on... How did I start? Oh, I've just started in the edge, sorry. A top, a short kit and a long fore. You've got a lovely depth both sides, sort of 13 inches, 14 inches. A really good first hour there, 20 F1s first hour. Then it sort of feels like they were still coming in but went a bit scatty. Tried fishing maggot short, that wasn't right. In my head I knew it wasn't right before we even started, but I've done it. I wish I'd just fished hard pellets. And I set up to fish along the bank a bit with, I've thrown maggots that side and hard pellets that way, maggots that way, but I've changed that to hard pellets. I haven't fed it, I was just going to kindering. And that's been good, caught a few carp. The maggots, that never went, just a bit too many, they're all over the place. And then I've caught in the edge again, had a really good run the last hour. Should have just been a bit more patient, fished hard pellets short, hard pellets along that bank a bit earlier, and fished in the edge a bit more, should have been a bit more patient with it. Again, there's pegs 4 and 5 are on a spinner. It's much better for catching short. Won the lake the day before, and again I had Gavel Eversage and Tom Edwards on the 2 pegs on the spinner. I've weighed, what did I weigh? I weighed 99 pound I think, and they've had 102 and 103. Now, if I'd have got second in the section, I would have been framed. And even if I'd have got, and if I'd have won the section, I'd have been even more in the frame. So again, didn't get it quite right, I don't think. Ended up 14th out of 120. It's not a bad result, but didn't actually win any money again. Learned a lot though, I did learn a lot from it. I don't fish Westwood enough, and it is a very unique venue. So shallow and so many fish. Just should have been a bit more patient with a couple of things. But this is, when I look back, I've got over the worst of it because I've been bad on my fishing. Got over the worst of it, and I look back and it's definitely been something that hasn't suited me, in all honesty, 'cause I'm a busy angler, and if I'm not catching, I move lines and stuff until they rock up somewhere, and it's just about being patient, and it has been everywhere, because they come in to feed but it's feeding very little and just sitting there at times, and I've got it wrong. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing. I was nearly there, but the first day again threw me a little bit, so that was that. On to what else have we been doing? Fishos. Where have we been? Lakeview. Drew rubbish. Caught 2 carp all day. Everyone's to my right blanked. Be honest, won't go back for another one now. I sort of knew it was going to be like that. it's just a waste of a day. I know someone's got to win, but there's a big chance you're going to have a terrible day, so I'm not wasting a day's holiday on that again. Where else have I been? Golden Reel. I'm trying to think where else I've been. Been so many missions. Coleman's 2-day festival at Coleman's. What a load of rubbish that was. Shan't be going there again either. It used to be one of my favourite venues, and it became a syndicate a few years ago. A match fishing syndicate. You have to be a member. So they don't get many there anymore. That's a stupid idea. We were on the 2 Stepfield lakes, which is like an L shape, and you need to be at that top, John. Rubbish first day. Won my section, caught a few on expanders short early, and then I've had to fish 17.5 metres in the wind, fishing over, caught for an hour, never had a bite the last 3 hours. It was awful. Anyway, same for all of us, unless you're up in that little L bit where the wind was going. Second day drew about opposite where I was. It was on weight. I was never going to catch weight there. Pretty much the same. Caught in the edge early and then caught over at 17 metres, and then I really struggled for a bite. I did think they weren't moving in over feed, so I've set a pace rig. I did catch 2 or 3 just fishing pace, not feeding there, and just feeding with a pace. Caught a couple on that, but yeah, never in the run-in. Then about another £3 win my section again, didn't happen. But yeah, never in the running. The people, there's been some big weights up on the better pegs, so that was a waste of time. The fish weren't healthy, really skinny. So just not going back there again. It's a shame because it used to be an amazing venue. Golden Reels, been to 3 golden reels. Now, the first one, as I was saying to you, work has cost me, I think, with this one. With these nights we were on, because it's all with the railways, we've been inducted, we got told you've got to cancel your holiday, we're going back on them. Which is fair enough. I had a ticket for the golden reel at the glebe. Now, normally it's all pellets and you take a load of casters for the glebe as well. Cancelled. Didn't tell my ticket because I knew these nights could get cancelled, so I didn't tell my ticket. Monday, this was on the Wednesday the match. Monday it was definitely on. Sold my ticket, and then 2 hours later they rang me that evening. No, it's off. So I said, right, I'm going fishing. Didn't have any casters because it was so last minute. I got my ticket back. He hadn't paid me yet, and he let me have my ticket back and just bought a ticket. So thank you, Jimmy, for that. And I've drawn, where did I draw? 101, peg 101 at the glebe, which is pull 7, 98's the end. Tom Edwards was on 100 next to me, 101, then I had 2 spare pegs this way, and then there was a line. So I really fancied it, in all honesty. And I've just set up to fish hard pellets short, hard pellets long. Down to the next platform with corn and ground bait. Open end feeder for over because he's at 20-inch hook length, no methods. Just with ground bait and a band full of dead maggots. Then I set up a bomb for 3/4 over. Just for pigging 8 mils. I thought not a lot of people would do it, and I thought that could be good. Started short. Tom's had 3 before I've had a bite, and then I've caught 3. He's had a couple more, he was just ahead of me, and then it sort of drifted off. In all honesty, I've changed float sponsors. A few of you might have seen that, thanks to Melman's for the years, but I've gone with DS Floats, made me an offer, and I've gone there, and I'm still getting used to the pattern slightly. And what I chose, like 414 carbon, it would have been fine. Then the wind's got up a bit before the start, and it hasn't quite sat there. It's been drifting around. I fished an 8 mil pellet, it's been dragging about a bit. Fell a couple, that wasn't quite right, in all honesty. I did change it to something else in the end, and it was much better, but perhaps cost myself a couple of fish early there. Then me and Tom have both chucked the feeder out after about an hour. Mine's literally gone round with a 10 pounder as I was tightening up, and then not another bite. And Tom's done the same, first chuck had one, then not another bite. Tom's gone on the long pole, fouled a couple straight away, so I thought, right, I'm going to just ping the bomb and go on that. Because they were cruising about a bit and you can't slap or anything there. So I thought that'd be good, and I fished the bomb for a while, not caught anything. Tom caught 3 or 4 on the long pole, so I then sat the bomb off, started pinging on at 13 metres. Gone out, had 5 carp straight away. And then Tom started blasting in casters, which he didn't have. And we all know I love fishing casters. And he started catching not carp but bream. Like, I've had £100 of skimmers there myself before. These were like £4, £5, £6 bream. He was getting one a bow and he's caught £65 with them in an hour. I had no answer to it. So I just had to feed my edge. Got down there, caught a couple of these bream myself, but didn't need bream. I've just put 1 cup of ground bait and corn in, so I'll give it four pots of ground bait, 4 pot of corn, so there's hopefully some bait there for the carp. Gone down there, had 2 for £20 straight away with like 2 hours to go. I thought, here we go. And I've got 6 more big ones there. I caught 4, then I had to top up with a pot of bait. Caught 2 more, topped up again, caught 2 more. Tom says you're going to win the match now. And then the last hour, nothing's come in there. Caught 2 more short. Wasted a lot of time down the edge. And I changed it to dead maggots that I got for the feeder. That nothing come in, which is really annoying because it was going so well. And in the end, I've weighed £130, all carp bow and 2 skimmers. Tom's had £100 of carp and £65 bream, and he's won the match and qualified with it. Well done, mate. But I've had an hour and a half where I've not caught anything in the middle when he's caught them bream. And I know if had I known I was definitely going on, I've had a load of casters, I would have caught that. I've caught more carp because of my edge fish. I had a bit more room down the edge. Got a few fish on. That was definitely, I should have been in the golden reel. I could have caught another 20 or 30 pound of carp, definitely. Like I say, just not done the bomb. Fish pellets along sooner. Had the right rig on short, a bit more stable. Caught 2 or 3 more on that. And I should have caught some bream. I could have caught £180, definitely. That was a chance. It's one I'll always look back on. So I wasn't very happy when I got home that day. Where else have we been with golden reels? Been Decoy this week just gone. That wasn't. All the talk was you didn't want Beastie. I know because I'm living local to Decoy. I see the results all the time. All friends on Facebook are there. Beastie has been awful. I don't know why. And I drew 24 Beastie. Of course I did. Beastie. Like we knew that you wouldn't win from there. They've all been struggling to get a bite feed and it's just been an odd dobber. 24 isn't even a very good, it's best winter peg on there, but it's boiling hot, so that ain't going to help me. They will show up there in the winter, but you're in with 26, 29, 30 all flies, so I just went there to try and enjoy my day. I've just set up a rig for fishing, like a heavy rig, like the expander rig for fishing worms and expanders early. A couple of dobbing rigs, a couple of shallow rigs, and a hard pellet rig for short, and an edge rig. The edge looked nice. Got some reeds there, and then I've set up a feed frame. I wasn't even planning chucking it, but you never know. An 11-foot waggler rod with a little dobbing waggler, and a 12-foot waggler rod with a big waggler for chucking over to the island. It's quite a chuck, 40, 50 metres. And I've caught there before, just splashing a big waggler in, wafter on the hook. Now there's lots of dobbers around the old lake and everyone started dobbing. I've done the same, but they would just turn away from it. It's a horrible clear colour. I've thrown casters down the edge from the start, because sometimes get some big F1s come sit in them. After 10 minutes I just thought we're not going to catch dobbing here, everyone's wasting their time. So I've gone short with expanders and Mike's caught a Carasio straight away, then an F1. Not very big, but it was bite, then nothing. Gone out to 14 metres doing it, and I've caught a £10 carp first put in. Then a tench, then a couple of F1s, again not very big F1s because they're massive in that lake normally. And then no bites, I've started blasting casters out at 14 metres. Seen some in the edge, gone and caught a big F1 and 3 tench. And then I've just fished 14.5 metres. I've fed the edge the last 2 hours with worm and castor. I've put 2 skimmers down there. It's just unreal. Normally there's so many big carp in your edge there. Thrown out pellets short last 2 hours, never a bite on it. I did have one splash in the waggler into the island, about £8. And other than that, I've just fished shallow all day, but it's been so frustrating. It's been really bright and sunny until still. Big F1s in the peg, and you've got to fish 12 inches above your float, 12 inches below. And it's for fish welfare apparently, but it's just a stupid rule. Foul hooked, you miss a million bites because they were really shallow. They're not scared of pole. They just sit there because they know they're not going to get caught, and you're getting missed bites galore, and then you foul hook a big F1 every now and again. Just ticked over, but I was doing all right really. Then the 4th hour, the sun's gone in a little bit, and they've gone down to 12 inches, and I've caught huge, like some of them were £6 these F1s for a while, and then the sun's come out and it's been back to missed bites, and yeah, loads of missed bites and another foul hooker. So frustrating that rule. I think I could have, if you could have fished 6 inches deep. The short line above the float didn't bother me so much. You do want a short line for F1s really, but it's the below. You're just fishing below the fish and foul hooking, and it's an old rule. I don't see the point in it, but so everyone's had that problem there before, but it's the first time it's really noticeable how many fish I've missed out on. I've weighed £120, won the section, second on the lake, behind £130. But I honestly feel I could have caught 250, 260, maybe a bit more if I could have fished shallower, but you can't, rules are rules. So, as expected, Decoy, the rest of it fished its out 131 hour lake. You needed 250, 260 to win a section on some lakes. And the top 3 have all had over £350 from 3 separate lakes, so we were never in the running. Other golden reel was Sunday, that was at Lindholme. Everyone said Bonsai had been fishing brilliant. Drew Bonsai 46, not a great peg. Everyone said it's just cast a shallow. Against any reeds or cover over, you can't, there's no cover over, you've got no island, you've got water between the 2 islands. Big set of reeds comes out next to you though, so I've just thrown casters there, pinged at 13 metres. It's all I've done. I've set up 1 rig for fishing underneath both of them were worms, and we started on mics and expanded short with it. 6 shallow rigs and that deck rig, that was it. And lo and behold, Bonsai has been dreadful. It's really shut off, no idea why. Jimmy Brooks on 70 on the end. He's had a bit, not 70, 50 on the end. He's had a load of room, 10 spare pegs around to the next one. He's had £64 dobbing, like not many bites at all. He's just seen a very odd one, not fed. £64, I think he had 14 fish for that. That's one all our section and our bank. Nick Speed next to me's had £51, I've had 52. And then they've got nothing round to my left again. We've been the worst part of the worst lake. You wanted Willers or Laurels, they've all caught a load. £190 won it on Bennett on Willers, so well done to him. Where else have I been? Fished 2 matches at Rookery. Should have won the second one, had a disastrous day. Won't really go into it. Caught shallow casters, a few short on me. And then the other match on there, did 2 on Jay. Had £190 shallow, and the 3 pegs to my right, which was 5th. The 3 pegs to my left have all caught, there's been fluff on the water. They've all caught dobbing. They've all had 220 next to me, then 245, 240. They've been top 3 in the match, so just out of it. Never had the dobbers where we were down our end. But I really enjoyed it, starting to catch shallow. And then I've had 2 matches at Floatfish. Do 9 on Wagtail, caught with Mike's and Expanders short, Mike's Expanders long, and I had pellets on both. Then I caught a few on me when it was raining with the 4th hour, and it was flat cut, and then with flat cut I'm getting nothing. I've had an odd one on the bomb, and then the last half hour I've seen them swirling, and I've had 5 or 6 on the waggler. Weighed, I was just over in all my nets, like 51 pound in each, so I've had a little, tiny bit knocked off. So weighed 150, won the match. That was a lovely day. And then I went there last Friday, again work got cancelled, so went there last Friday. Fished the newer lake, the strip lake, Captain Tom's, first time I've been on there, drew peg 3. Flat calm 1 to 3, and then the wind going down the other end, so I thought it'd be rubbish. And I've actually had a lovely day. It plums up really weird, it's deep short, like top 5, it's 6 foot deep. It goes nearly straight away. Fished meat there, I only have 1 little carp on it. I fished 14 metres because it's flat carp, I fished 14 metres right, and you're in 3 foot there. Caught the mics and expanders, 3 carp straight away, and then it was this crucians and little stockies, caught them. So I changed to a light rig with hard pellets, tapping hard pellets in, you catch carp, and for 2 hours I've just alternated the 2. Like when you weren't getting any bites on hard pellets, swap into micros, you brought some in, and then when the little ones got their swap in to hard pellets. But I was never going to win like it sort of slowed down. I had 50 pound in 2 hours, it was good. But then it slowed down, and it's about 19 metres wide, but I walk around and it's so shallow across, it's literally like that. Comes out to some reeds, and with 17.5 metres, and I put my front 2 legs in the water as well. Get across them reeds and you've got like 15 inches, so just big cut ground bait and corn over. Starting to see him come in, gone across 17.5 metres. The corn on it wasn't good, so cut the corn out, they were definitely there, didn't want the corn, just big cut ground bait, just the the green betaine, the newer ground bait from Spotted Fin, which I love, probably the only ground bait I carry now. It just does everything, which is lovely and easy on the prep side. Just fished a whole worm over it, about 2 hours where I caught 1 above, and then it sort of slowed up. It slowed up for everyone on the lake, but I've just kept persevering with it. I just had odd little runs to the end. Wasn't the most comfortable day fishing 7.5 metres, as you can see. Took all the skin off my elbow, but lovely days fishing. They were all like, I had 1 10-pounder, and then they're like 2 to 4 pounder carp. I've weighed 167 pound, just won the match easy. 110 was second, I think. Lovely days fishing. Definitely want to have another go on there. Really enjoyed it on there, and I think that covers everywhere we've been. As you can see, not being the best starts. It is fishing now. Commercial champs. I've had the first round of commercial champs at Makins. Sorry. Drew 9 on reptile, which is non-lizard, where I always draw, and it's normally like it's in the bowl next to where I was last year, but I got beat by the islands. You remember me saying this year my section was that way into the narrow bit, just rubbish. Thought I'd win the section, caught 2 carp all day. It's been awful, and I've had 30 pound there, 32 pound. I've got a load of skimmers and worms on the deck, not a load but a few. He's had 2 carp next to me for next to nothing. The other side of me's caught 13 pound of skimmers, not seen a carp. And in the narrows they've caught a few, and then down the other end of the lake they've caught a few. So just summed it all up. Beat next door, and then they've all caught a few carp. 80 pound on the section down there. They've all had a bit of room. Normally it's terrible, but they've left one bank out, so they've had a bit of room. The fish just sat in the room a little bit. So that's my dropper gone. Like I say, they are starting to turn on and feed now, so you can make things happen a little bit. I'm enjoying it now. I've turned the corner, fishing well, just not drawing well, but it's just around the corner hopefully. I've got to say it's probably the worst run I've ever had, which is disappointing when you come back from not fishing for so long because of lockdown, but we've got all the festivals starting soon, Floatfish and Decoy, and the Rookery one. Qualifiers are starting to quieten down a little bit now. I have got the Maver at Decoy this week, must have drawn Void Beastie. And then Sunday I'm at Larford for the next round of commercial champs. I'd say no room for error now because my dropper's gone already. Yeah, so start getting some more local fishing done. Still a few qualifiers, I've still got quite a few Mavers and Golden Reels to go. I'm sorry if that's been a long-winded chat. I'm going to get straight on. Well, I'm going to have a cup of coffee because I've got a sore throat already. Get straight on, do some running line videos. I'm going to do a pellet waggler and a bomb. They're the same method, they tie in together, but I'm going to do them as separate videos. I'll put one up today, one up tomorrow. So there we go. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your concern. I know a few people have messaged me saying, am I alright? I have been really down with it all. It's been work and fishing combined, but we've turned the corner. Fishing's starting to improve. We're soon going to start catching a boatload and winning loads of matches. A good run is on the way, I'm sure. Thank you for watching. Be back with some tips videos soon.